Hello. Hey, hi. How are you guys doing today? Today we're going to be discussing an update in the case of Libby German and Abby Williams, the two little girls from Delphi, Indiana, that were found murdered back in 2016. They were on the Monon High Bridge, and they were just out celebrating the day, being like most little girls are. And I'm sorry, I said 2016, I meant 2017. So that day, they went out on this trail, they went out on this bridge, and they were just being like most little girls are, enjoying the day, taking pictures, laughing, things like that, until it took a deadly turn. We waited for a very, very, very long time for a suspect to be presented in this case, and we finally got one, and his name is none other than Richard Allen. And I'm going to show you a video today on an update on him. He went to court today for the second time in this case. They have a gag order right now. So the gag order is in place to where the courts, the people that are within the case, nobody can talk about it. So I was going to do a live on it this morning, but since I figured the judge was going to keep the gag order in place, we went ahead and we did a live on the Idaho 4. But I did touch on this case in the beginning of the live, so if you guys want to check that out, that would be great. Also, thank you for being here with me today. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, we do talk true crime here. Smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be alerted to all new content. Tonight, we will be watching the Dateline episode for the Idaho 4 massacre. So if you guys want to watch that, make sure you tune in. And I'm going to go ahead and play this for you guys now. And I'll turn it up a little bit, that way it doesn't blast your ears.
Now to talk more about this, the hosts of the Murder Sheet podcast, attorney Kevin Greenlee and journalist Anya Kane. They were both inside the courtroom this morning as the judge reviewed the case. Thank you both for being here. What's been the reaction to the judge deciding to bring in an outside jury?
I think it's one of just agreement that this is probably the best of both worlds. And in fact, we had the defense who filed the motion for change of venue, but also the prosecutor who essentially said, I agree with this. This trial, we could not get a jury in this county. So I think all in all, people are saying that this is a common sense solution that is pretty apt for the situation.
Kevin, describe Richard Allen in court today, his demeanor, what you saw.
He seemed a bit more worn down than he had previously. I guess spending another month in prison will do that to you. One thing I'd like to note is that there were two women in court from his family. We believe they were his mother and his wife. And as he walked past them to his seat at the defense table, he mouthed the words, "I love you." And his wife mouthed the words, "Love you," back to him.
Wow. How about the families of the girls? Were they there?
They were. They walked in kind of as a group at one point, and they're actually affected by the gag order. They are not permitted to speak about the facts of the case to the media at this time, but they're continuing to kind of show their support and continuing to sort of silently advocate for these two girls, for Libby and Abby, as these pretrial hearings rather get underway.
Did Richard Allen look in their direction? Any interaction between the victims' families and the man accused of killing those girls?
Not that we saw. We did not witness any sort of interaction. He did speak a lot with his defense attorneys, who sat one on either side of him, but he was, quite quiet. And all in all, it was quite a brief hearing. We were it was sort of a big wait and then sort of a very short hearing before the judge basically asked everybody to leave, aside from the defendant and the defense.
So the judge expressed some doubt that a trial would get underway on March 23rd, as is scheduled, because of the extraordinary amount of evidence. Did she elaborate on that, and what goes into trying to get this thing rolling as is scheduled?
Yeah, she did elaborate on that. She said the amount of discovery in this case is voluminous. We know there are thousands and thousands of tips that people have called in or emailed in, and it's difficult to imagine how Allen's two-person defense team can even go through and read all of those in the 2 months or so between now and when the trial is scheduled. She asked them if they wanted to delay the trial and make that request now, And they said that for the moment, they want to leave the trial as scheduled, but they will revisit that issue at the next hearing, which is the bail hearing scheduled for next month.
One overarching kind of theme is that there may have been someone else involved. What are you both hearing? Do prosecutors still believe that there could be more people responsible in this case?
Prosecutors certainly haven't given any sort of indication that they no longer believe that. We imagine that there may be more clarity at the bond hearing because they'll essentially possibly have to give evidence on why this man should be kept in prison. And so at this point, I would say that, you know, they certainly haven't come out and said, actually, we've ruled everybody else out. But it's certainly one of the great mysteries of the case at this time because no one else has been arrested. No one else has even really been named. So if there are other parties involved, we want to know what is their involvement? Were they directly involved in the murders or is something else at play here?
Right. The affidavit did reveal a lot, especially in terms of a timeline and understanding where he was that day, accounting for his actions. What do we believe with witnesses who may be called, who came in contact with him that day?
Yes, certainly there were a lot of people mentioned in the PCA who were eyewitnesses that day who came across somebody who's certainly, you know, not necessarily definitely Alan, but who they said was not dissimilar to Alan in the sense that, you know, some witnesses saw the man with his face partially covered. In some cases, it was a very brief interaction. But it seemed like the prosecution and law enforcement were sort of trying to use all these different pieces, putting it together to kind of basically put Alan at the scene. And Alan himself puts himself at the scene at that time. So that's another really important aspect. Even without the eyewitnesses, you have a defendant who's saying, yes, I was there that day. I was going on a walk on the trails. So it's sort of an interesting dichotomy between the witnesses and also what he's saying himself.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on.
Okay, guys, so that's all I had for you there. But yeah, so they have a lot of evidence on him. If you guys haven't saw the PCA, the probable cause affidavit, I did do a video on that, and it should be linked under, you know, the Delphi case. If not, it definitely is, and it's in my live videos. And it's also, I did a pre-recorded and a live on that. It was a long read, but it was very detailed, and we learned a lot from it. So I just wanted to give you guys that update today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you appreciate today's case coverage, please do so by clicking the subscribe button, the bell icon, and if you could, like the video. It does send it into the algorithm. That way more people can enjoy it. I am doing a live, like I said, tonight. So today is Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, we are doing a live tonight at 8:30. So I will see you guys all there. Make sure you're subscribed and you have that bell icon alerted. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Much love.